Okay, another day of work on the project. Some questions that I've been getting from kids. Happens all the time. People will say, I did my loan and I did my investing, and it's really weird because my investing is paying it off faster, and that doesn't make sense to me. Let me talk about what that means. So if you are investing and you are saving to buy this item versus if you are going to I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, sorry, somebody just walked in and I needed to talk to him, so I'm back on the video here. If you are going to try to compare investing and taking a loan, which one makes you money? Investing. Shouldn't that mean that depending on the size of the payments, you might actually get the thing paid off quicker? Because you make money on investing, so you can get it paid off quicker. Now, could you structure your loan so that it pays off quick? Yes, you can. You just have to make really big payments and you'll pay off quick. Okay. But the difference really is one of them you're making money, so you might get it paid off faster. The one other one, you're paying money. For a loan, you're paying money. And obviously, you'd always rather be making money on interest than paying money on interest. All right, so don't be surprised if in your scenario, you're doing the loan and you're like, man, this thing's taking a long time to pay off. Well, it's because you're fighting against interest. Interest is going against you when you have a loan. All right, one more thought. After you've got all your info, like many of you are done, which is awesome. You're done with the math part of this project. Then all you have to do is enter it. There's a link on Schoology that says basically enter your data here. You should be able to find it. It's got today's date on the folder. You'll be able to find it. Okay, in there, you enter your data. At one point, it's going to say to take a picture of a recursive formula, because you know it's really impossible to enter those. So they say take a picture and put your picture in here. If you've already got the picture done, a screenshot of that formula, that's much better. If you try to do it while you're in the middle of this form, it is possible, but I had a kid, it failed on him like 6 times. So don't try to take the picture while you're in the middle of the form. Look at the form, look at the question that says submit a picture of your recursive formula. Then find where that recursive formula is. Take the picture ahead of time is all I'm trying to say. Before you, don't try to do it in the middle of the form. It might kill the form and drop you out. Okay, so you're going to enter all this info. Then what about the presentation you've been hearing about? All you have to do, you don't have to present in front of class. I will ask a few kids if if presentations are really cool, if they'd be willing to share it in front of the class. But you're going to have to do it in front of me. So I'm going to be calling you up and saying, okay, John, it's your turn. And he comes up and then he shows me his little presentation on his iPad. It could be Google Slides. It could be a movie that he's already pre-done. It could be an explain everything. He just hits play. I mean, lots of options there. You can do this project any way you want. But one last thing. In your project, which has to answer some questions like, when is it better to take a loan? When is it better to save for it? You need to include some of the numbers from your project. That's the point of doing the project, is to say, look, I saved $6,000 by doing it this way. You know what I mean? Or it cost me this much in interest to do it that way. You have to include at least a number from your project that was poignant to you. Like, I couldn't believe that it blah, 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 and here's my number. I saved this much, or that I spent this much on interest, or whatever. So if you've already done your project, all you have to do is insert a number. It won't be that hard. You're going to have to say, here's how much I saved. That's not going to kill you. But the point is, I want to connect the project part, the presentation thing, to all the math you just did. I don't want all the math you just did to be completely separate. So take a number from the math you just did and stick it in your little presentation at the end. All right. So any other questions so far? All right, one more little warning about the next few days. We are going to take a top 20 in class tomorrow. And I had a kid ask me, where do I find those again? davidserver.com. It says ACT Prep is one of the tabs. You can find 5 practice tests with 5 keys. So if you want to be totally ready and just rock that thing, go ahead. How much you study is totally up to you. If you want to fail it the first time, it will go in the grade book though. This is going in the 85% category. Then you can have unlimited retakes. I personally would, if it were me, I'd do something in between. I wouldn't like take 5 practice tests. I might take one of them and find a few that I'm bad at and watch the videos for them so that I don't just do terrible on my first time. Okay? Give yourself maybe a little room to grow, but you don't need it to start with a 4 out of 20. Yes, you'll get it eventually up to a higher score, but it might take a while. All right. So, some morals to the story. Is it possible that with investing you can pay off your car or whatever you're buying faster? Yes, it is. Another question I get all the time. How do I figure out the interest? If it's the interest on a loan, it's pretty simple. If you paid more than the loan, like the car was supposed to be a $20,000 loan and you paid $25,000, well, then the difference, subtract the two, is interest. But what about the investment kind? What if your investment, you're looking down your table and it says you've got $21,450 in the account and you were saving up to buy this car that was going to cost $21,000. Did you figure out you only put in 20 payments of $1,000? Do you get that would only add up to $20,000? Why is there $21,000 in your account? That's the two numbers you compare. Is how much did you put in, payments times how many payments you made, and how much is actually in your account. And if you compare these two and you're like, whoa, I've got more in there, it's because of interest. And these two get subtracted. Notice, it's not how much the car cost that gets subtracted if you're doing the investment kind. It's how much did I pay in compared to how much is in my account. On the loan kind, you subtract off what your loan amount was, but on this you don't. On this you compare how much total did you pay into the account versus how much is actually there now. Yes? That's this part. How much did you contribute? If you did 20 payments of 1,000, it'd be 20,000. It'll be a really simple calculation. How much you paid times how many payments you made. And then how much is actually in the account? Hopefully it'll be more because you're gaining 3% interest on it. So, okay. Those are the biggest questions I got asked. I am willing to answer more for you one-on-one during the class hour. One other thing, a few kids are smart enough to take advantage of this time to learn the top 20 and ask me questions. If you're one of the kids that's new to me this semester, I encourage you to find one of those top 20s on davidserver.com and find a problem that you don't know how to do. And let me teach you how. Just take me a minute. I know when I made these problems. I can show you how to do it pretty fast. And then once you got that down, that's going to be a skill that you're going to carry through and use on the ACT for sure. Well, I guess I can't be for sure because you never know which problems they're going to give you. But I have heard from tons of people that those types of questions came up a lot on their ACT. Okay, that's all I have for you for today. Otherwise, it's a work day. Tomorrow is when we start turning in projects. And I want to clarify, start turning in projects means not everybody has to turn it in tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to get through everybody. I'm going to be grading a bunch of them in class. And I won't get through everybody. And I will take it as volunteers. Okay? So if you really need an extra day, you can turn it in the next day. But then that's the deadline. Tomorrow, if you're ready, which I hope many of you are. And the next day, if you need extra time. Any other questions? Okay. Have a good day.